In the 1970s, a charming, intelligent, and seemingly ordinary man captivated the nation. Yet behind his all-American facade lay a devious and deadly predator, responsible for a horrific string of murders that spread across multiple states. This is the chilling story of Ted Bundy, one of the most notorious serial killers in American history.
Welcome to Crime Quickie, where we explore the captivating world of crime stories. We're your hosts, Paige Turner and Lucy Furr. In today's episode, we will take a look at the chilling case of Ted Bundy, a cunning and ruthless killer who used his charm and good looks to lure his victims to their untimely deaths. Join us as we delve into the twisted mind of this enigmatic figure who terrorized America.
To understand the enigma that is Ted Bundy, we must first explore his early life. Born Theodore Robert Cowell in Burlington, Vermont, in 1946, Bundy faced a complicated family situation. His biological father was unknown, and Bundy was initially raised by his grandparents, who he believed were his parents. His mother, Eleanor, later married Johnny Bundy, and Ted took on his stepfather's last name.
Bundy's childhood was relatively unremarkable, though he later recounted feeling a sense of detachment from his family. He was a bright and promising student, earning a scholarship to study psychology at the University of Washington. It was here that Bundy's dark side began to emerge.
Throughout college, Bundy struggled with feelings of inadequacy and resentment towards women, stemming from his inability to form lasting relationships. However, he was able to maintain a seemingly normal life, even volunteering at a crisis hotline center. It was during this time that Bundy began to explore his dark fantasies and embark on a deadly path that would forever alter the course of his life.
Ted Bundy's reign of terror began in the Pacific Northwest in the early 1970s. His first known murder occurred in January of 1974, when he brutally attacked a young woman named Karen Sparks, leaving her with severe brain damage. Just a month later, Bundy abducted and murdered Linda and Healy, marking the beginning of a gruesome killing spree that would span multiple states and claim the lives of at least 30 young women.
Bundy's modus operandi was chillingly calculated. He often used his charm and good looks to approach potential victims, feigning injury or pretending to be a police officer. Once his targets were within reach, Bundy would incapacitate them with a blunt object, abduct them, and subject them to unspeakable acts of violence before ultimately taking their lives.
In the fall of 1974, Bundy's murderous trail led him to Utah, where he began attending law school. The killings continued, with the disappearance of several young women, including Nancy Wilcox, Melissa Smith, and Laura M. As the body count grew, so did the manhunt for the elusive killer.
In February 1975, Bundy struck again, kidnapping and murdering a young nurse named Karen Campbell in Colorado. As the authorities investigated the string of disappearances and murders, they began to connect the dots, linking the crimes across state lines. Despite this progress, Bundy managed to evade capture, even as he continued his killing spree.
In August 1975, Bundy's luck began to run out when he was arrested in Utah for evading a police officer. Upon searching his vehicle, officers discovered suspicious items, including handcuffs and a crowbar, which raised further suspicions. As investigators pieced together Bundy's movements and connected him to the growing list of missing women, they finally had enough evidence to charge him with the kidnapping of Carol Durage, one of the few women to have escaped his clutches.
During the trial, Bundy insisted on representing himself, displaying a chilling level of self-assurance. Despite his attempts to charm the jury, Bundy was found guilty and sentenced to 1 to 15 years in prison for kidnapping. However, the real breakthrough in the case came when Bundy was extradited to Colorado to face murder charges for the death of Karen Campbell.
As he awaited trial in Colorado, Bundy orchestrated a daring escape from the Garfield County Jail in June 1977. For 6 days, he evaded capture before being apprehended while driving a stolen car. Remarkably, Bundy managed to escape custody once again in December of the same year, this time making his way to Florida.
Once in Florida, Bundy resumed his murderous activities, attacking a group of college students at Florida State University's Chi Omega sorority house in January 1978. He brutally assaulted 4 young women, killing 2 of them, before moving on to another nearby apartment and attacking another woman. Bundy's final known victim was 12-year-old Kimberly Leach, who he kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered in February 1978.
Bundy's reign of terror finally came to an end on February 15, 1978, when he was pulled over by a police officer for driving a stolen vehicle. His arrest marked the beginning of the end for one of America's most notorious serial killers. Bundy was eventually charged with multiple counts of murder and, after a high-profile trial, was sentenced to death in 1979.
Throughout his various trials, Bundy maintained his innocence, often displaying a chilling level of charm and charisma that both fascinated and repulsed those who followed the case. It wasn't until shortly before his execution that Bundy finally confessed to over 30 murders, although the true number of his victims may never be known.
Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair at Florida State Prison on January 24, 1989, bringing an end to the dark chapter of his life. While many still grapple with the horrors Bundy inflicted upon his victims and their families, his death marked the end of a long and painful saga for those who sought justice for the innocent lives he took.
In the annals of true crime, Ted Bundy stands out as one of the most notorious and enigmatic serial killers in American history. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the evil that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly ordinary and charming individuals. It also underscores the importance of vigilance and awareness in recognizing and reporting suspicious behavior, as it may be the key to preventing future tragedies.
As we conclude this disturbing journey through the life and crimes of Ted Bundy, let us remember the victims and their families, and strive to learn from this dark chapter in history to make our world a safer place.
That's it for this episode of Crime Quickie. A quick preview of our next episode.
In the heartland of America, a sinister figure terrorized the city of Wichita, Kansas, for over 3 decades. Known as the BTK Strangler, he taunted law enforcement and the public with his disturbing letters and cryptic messages, all while brutally murdering 10 innocent people. The chilling story of the BTK Strangler is a harrowing journey into the mind of a ruthless and cunning killer.